Well, good morning. Well, happy Sunday morning. So, I did a thing last night. As you can kind of see, I thought it was or maybe pun intended. Hold on, anybody, just a second. Okay, no, that's nothing for this morning. So, rocket fuel, yeah, I got my coffee, but I ain't white this morning. And it's a little darker than I thought it would be. The box said dark blonde, which is what I kind of always was before I went white. And if this was any darker blonde, I'd be goth. So, um, who's the Scotsman? And so I figure after, a couple of shampooings over the week, washings, it's going to fade into a little natural thing. And yeah, it'll wash out. It takes about, it's supposed to be 4 to 6 weeks. I also found I got a piece of whisker here that doesn't color. Right there. Look at that. It just doesn't color. And that's going to, of course, grow out in days, you know. So I tried it. I thought I want to try something. I always said I wouldn't do it because I would just look like an old guy trying to look like his hair isn't white anymore. An old guy with dyed hair. So, but there it is. I gave it a shot. And Rainey didn't see me till the morning light. I did it late last night. I was up late messing around last night doing stuff. And no, I could use a stripping shampoo. I don't want to totally take it out. I wouldn't mind it starting to fade a little bit though, because it's pretty brazen. This morning she looked at my hair, and I go, "So," I said, "Do I make you horny?" I said, "Do I make you want me more? Do I look young and virile, viral or virile?" And she said, "No." She said no to all of them, and she's smiling the whole time. And she said, "Oh, what did she say about it?" She said, "No, it makes me giggle though." I said, That was not the effect I was after. So, good morning, Sarah. Good to see you. Good morning, Grumpy Stack. You look like the dude in the movie with the pencil-thin mustache. Yeah. My mustache worked when it was white. Now that it's darker, it's like it looks weird now. And maybe the same with my hair. So I tried a thing. Last night, and it was quite late when I was trying the thing. And I happen to have the stuff on hand. And I said, you know what? Let's give it a shot. Let's see if it makes me look younger. Let's see, and Rainey this morning, you know what she said to me? She said, I like your white better. So there you go. And it's all in an, isn't it all in an effort to make our, any person out there says, I just color my hair because, it's just a thing I want to do. I don't care what anybody thinks. You know what? If you didn't care what anybody thinks, you wouldn't color it in the first place. I just want to try different colors. No. So, because, I think, and it's creeping up on me a little bit, and us as a couple a little bit. When Rainey and I first met 18 years ago, you could tell I was older than she was, but my hair was a little lighter than this, but it was pretty much this color. She, of course, was, 20 years younger. And, but it worked. We were fine. Now, as the years go on, which we knew would happen eventually, I look more, we gone like this. We kind of went like this, and my age has taken me this way. So, I thought, and does Rainey look like she's 43 years old? Yeah, she does. But she's a hot 43. For me, I thought, well, maybe it'll tighten that gap back up a little bit. We go out to eat and somebody won't ask her if my dad wants coffee too, if her dad wants coffee too. So, that's why I did it. I thought maybe my wife will get up in the morning. She'll look over at me and she'll go, "Oh, how you doing?" Instead, she said, that looks it's kind of dark, isn't it? Waiting for my hair to turn salt and pepper. That is so cool, said Morgan Snow. And mine bypassed salt and pepper. It went white. So when you try to keep up the facade of having younger hair, darker hair, when it starts to go white, and if you have facial hair, your hair's okay. My hair grows slower now than it ever has in my life, but it's the whiskers. It's the facial hair. This stuff will grow out. If I let this go in a week, I'll be white again. So you have to keep touching it up. And so it all depends on how vain you are. So is it vanity? Is it vanity? There's a good question. What comprises vanity? What defines vanity? Is it because I want to look this way and I want everybody to notice how I look? Or is it I want to look good for my wife? And of course, because I have a little bit of a public persona, there's times you think, well, maybe I should try to look better. I should strive to look not as old as I am. But then again, maybe people want you to look as old as you do. I don't know, but I wanted to look better for my wife. And so it's my metabolism. That's it, Grumpy Stack. It's my metabolism. Can diet change color of my hair? Steph says my grays came in, and I'm like, look, I have highlights. My kid was like, no, Mom, that's old age hair. See, that's Rainy. I took a picture of her. She was sleeping on the sofa or just laying there watching TV. And I was actually taking a picture of the kids, and her head was toward me because I was at the end of the sofa. And sunshine's coming in the window. And I took the picture of the kids, and there's Rainy laying there. And later, like a week later or so, I'm looking through these pictures, and I'm thinking, And the kids were even like, "Hey, is that grandma sleeping on the sofa?" Because Rainey's mom has long hair like Rainey, but it's all gray and white. And um, and for a minute there, I thought it was her mom. And then I went, "No, that's mom. That's Rainey. That's mom." Because of the way the light was hitting her hair, totally illuminated all the grays in her hair. And Rainey's always been a brunette, dark brunette. And I said, and she keeps going, I need to go get my hair done. She said, but I don't want to spend $200 to get my hair done because that's what it costs. She didn't want to do the cheap stuff from the store and color her hair. And she said, it never looks right. And so she said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go get it done right, but I don't want to spend the money on it. So she's gone the last couple of years without really getting much done to her hair. And oh, there's Russ. I'd dye my hair, but there's so little hair up on top that it wouldn't change anything. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. And it is. You can see, you know what I noticed? The dark makes my hair look thinner because you see the scalp color through it. When you got white hair, it kind of obscures that. So there it is. And at least my eyebrows aren't frosty white because I wouldn't color my eyebrow. I thought I saw all this stuff in the store and it goes, yeah, eyebrow color for guys. And it's like, I'm going to color my eyebrows. Come on. But then you think about it. You think women, it's like it's an unwritten okay rule that a woman can do whatever she wants. She can color her hair. She can try different colors. Look, I've gone blonde today. And we're all like, oh, cool. She went blonde, or she went redhead today, or she's brunette now, or, and women can wear makeup, things that make their faces contour differently. You see some women without makeup and you go, wow, there's quite a difference. Now, Rainey doesn't wear a lot of makeup. She'll wear some eyeliner. If I got the mascara and some eyeliner, rarely ever uses lipstick. Lipstick makes her lips look weird because she uses her natural color. She put on a little lip gloss or something, but she doesn't do foundation. She doesn't do rouge. She doesn't do that stuff. Maybe every now and then she'll do a little something, but nothing. And she mostly just does eyes, and she does her eyebrows. So she's always had those nice fine line eyebrows, and I love it. That's the way she was when I met her. And so now she doesn't color her hair. She's got the grays coming in. It's pretty evenly spread. She might have a streak of white, which is kind of cool. But anyway, so there you go. What's your thoughts on? You guys can call in if you want. You can talk about this stuff if you want. This is not, I colored my hair not for vanity, but because I thought it would make my wife go, wow. And instead she went, wow, that's really different. So I said, what? It doesn't make you want to strip me down and do me right now? And she said, no. And she smiled. And I said, come back to bed and I'll show you. And she says, no, not right now. She said, it's 8 minutes until your radio show starts. So she dodged a bullet right there. My StreamYards don't work because my camera is broken. Grumpy, that sucks. My camera, I need a new camera. I want to get a decent camera. That's part of the reason I started up the Patreon and all that, to try to upgrade this show. When we get to the level where we can do it, we'll get a new camera. I could use a second computer to do some of the things I need to do. Because this camera sucks. And if I take still pictures with this camera, they're always blurry. You can see even here, this broadcast, It's slightly out of focus. Just can't focus this. There's no manual controls. So I thought of getting a nice external camera. The ultimate would be I just upgrade to a whole new Apple system because I'm all on Apple. But you're talking $4,000 to $6,000 there. And so that's why that's not getting done. But yeah, Grumpy Stack, 7 minutes prep time. That's like the time where, the old story, I've told it more than once on here before. I was in Egypt for a month and I came home. This was about 9 years ago, a little over 9 years ago. If I'm thinking of how old Ellery is. And I got home the night before, and I'm sitting downstairs at my computer, checking on my emails, and Rainey comes traipsing down the steps into the office, and she's naked. And she comes over to my chair, and she goes, "Kids are watching cartoons. You got 8 minutes, buddy." And I went, "Yes, we can do it twice." And of course, that's where Ellery came from. The unplanned, unexpected Ellery came from that little encounter. So there you go. How's the t-shirt business? T-shirt business sucks. That whole thing, I'm not part of the marketing of that, and I haven't seen, it's still there. The company's still there, Grumpy. But a bunch of stuff happened with my partners, and they're into other things, and they never pushed it, never really pumped it all that much. And it kind of died on the vine. Something happened, where you get those things that look really good and it starts and everybody's behind it. Then you get out there and you start launching it and nobody's behind it. There's nobody that you thought was behind it is behind it anymore. And so it just kind of died on the vine. It's still sitting out there. You can still go to Patriot Propaganda and apparel, patriotpropagandaapparel.com. You can see what's going on. And then Matt, my main partner in that, he lost his job. And it's not like he was flailing out there. He's always had a good position. He's got a great radio show. But he was suddenly thrust into the things that will make sure he pays his bills, keeps his house, feeds his family. And so it's been a couple of months since I've really seen any activity on it, which is too bad. Never a quickie, only longies. There you go, Morgan Snow. Yeah, I don't like quickies either. My wife does sometimes. She's like, "Let's go. Make it a quickie." I don't know if that's because she doesn't like it or because she just has other things to do. I defer to the latter, that she has other things going on, and I just attack her. She might be all dressed up to go do something with somebody and friend of hers, and I grab her and carry her to the bedroom and say, "Let's take care of this before you go." So I got to fix my hair again. That's okay. It's beautiful. So, oh, is that a movie? Quickie, only longies? Not a quickie, only longies? Roger Abbott said, "I run marathons. I'm not a sprinter." Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Colin, but I'm new. I'm at the new Fed headquarters, and camera isn't installed yet. That's Russ, folks. Russ, we talked about it on Friday night in the captain's cabin. What Russ is doing at the new Trek Federation headquarters down in Ohio, and they've got a store. I think it was an old Gap store. Is that correct, Russ? At the mall. And they're putting in Trek Federation, and it's going to be the headquarters for his operations and also a store, a Star Trek store. Can you believe that? And you know what they're doing in the corner? We talked about this Friday night. If you missed it, they are building part of the original Star Trek bridge set. in the big corner area where they were going to have a stage. And here, you know what? I loaded this up the other day. Let me load it up again so you can see it. And Russ, it's too bad you can't call in or have your camera there to walk us around. Let's see. I got to find it here. It's, remember I labeled it something weird. Let's see if it comes up. Bridge. Oh, that's it. It's right there. I did these, they're not drawings really. They're just digital piecing together of photos of the empty store. And then I created stuff for Russ so he could present to investors and people that wanted to put money into the store for Trek Federation. And so I'll show you a couple of these interiors that we did for this. And I showed these on Friday. So this should give you a pretty good idea of what he's working on down there. But I have always wanted, and you've heard me say it here before, if I could do it, I wanted to build a replica of the original Star Trek series bridge. And because I thought that would be so cool. And it'd be like, on your property, you got an outbuilding, like a big Quonset hut outbuilding or an old, outbuilding like a steel barn or something like that. And I thought it would be fantastic amount of fun to build the set of the Star Trek bridge from the original series. And now Russ is doing it. And they had the one at Fort Ticonderoga up in New York. We were all going to try to get yeah, you can call in with your phone. Here, Russ, let me copy the link so you don't have to go try to look it up while you're on the phone. Just look at the chat room. If you can see it, I don't know if you can copy it or click on it, but there's the link to get in. Now, here's some of the drawings. I'm going to take my my banner off of this so I can show you this. This is the store. So Russ gave me this shot of the store at the mall. There's the storefront. And this was the first shot at it. Just make it look Trek Federation, put our logo up where the sign is. And I put, mannequins in with Star Trek uniforms and dummied in merchandise and stuff like that. Murals on the back wall, the big Enterprise model that he's got. And so we did that. Then as it kept going, here's deeper into the interior of the store. Here's the main counter in the back, and we doctored that up to or designed it to look like the helm on the bridge or the old Star Trek. He's got the captain's chair. We put that in a central round platform so people could take pictures, and we threw all these different graphics and things up around, and that's a mural on the back wall of the old engineering room. Excuse me. And then looking the other direction, over here, you had the stage over in that far back corner back there. You see a little chair back there and a microphone and the raised platform, the red carpet. And then these are murals on the back wall. And that was the original design of the thing. And all the doors, we put these, like we did at his headquarters. For his office, we put decals that look like the sliding doors on Star Trek. So now this was where it got left. And then Russ said, let's build a bridge back there. This whole area in the back here where you see that red square of carpet. I don't know the exact dimensions because all of this was for visual. It wasn't done to architectural plans or anything like that or blueprints. So he said, let's build a bridge back there. So I took that back area back there. You look at that in the center, in the back, and it now is going to look like this. So back in that back corner, the whole area becomes a raised platform. Then you've got the helm here and the captain's chair right in the middle. and he's going to build these 4 stations plus the turbo lift door, which opens into a turbo lift right from the television series. So they're going to design. Yeah, Russ is in Ohio. It's outside Columbus, right, Russ? Columbus, Ohio? And so that is going to be, and you know what's so cool about this? This is, you're going to have geeks from Star Trek geekdom all over the world, all over the country anyway, or at least his region at the very least, that are going to want to come there and do events in his store, rent out the events. And it's going to be fantastic because he's going to have this whole thing set up like this. And looks worthy of a visit, says Cordia. Yeah, it is. I think 20 by 20 is the measurement of that. And when you think about it, that bridge set was actually not as big as it looks. And generally, most of the time, they didn't even have the whole bridge. It was a crescent shape. And then the view screen, they brought in for certain shots, but it was mostly the whole front of the bridge was open for filming. And this is basically all you saw is what you see here. Maybe a couple of more stations over on the right. So Cordy is an hour away from you, Russ. Sandusky, home of Cedar Point, is where he is. So Russ is going to now be kind of the next. I know Ticonderoga, James Cawley has... he rebuilt all the Desilu original sets from Star Trek from the 60s. He got the blueprints and all this and detailed and that whole thing out. Lighting and everything. I mean, it looks fabulous. And we all want to go. We were going to say, let's all meet up there for a trip to Ticonderoga. We were going to do that a couple of summers ago, and gas went through the roof. And we postponed it. But now that we're either getting used to gas being as expensive as it is, and hopefully the economy will take a turn for the better as things get better, and you all know what that means without me getting political, we'll replan this trip. But now Russ is going to have, and here is Russ. Let's bring him in. Hey, Russ.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good. It's Sunday morning. It's not time to be awake yet, but
no,
I'm here.
Yeah, I was up half the night. I couldn't get to sleep. I finally went to sleep. I looked at the clock. It was 4:02. When I finally, right after that, somewhere I fell asleep. That's the last I remember on the clock. And then my son, who was spending the night over at a friend's house, he calls me at 7:00. Wants me to come and open the door. He didn't have his key with him. And so I'm like, I slept for 3 hours and I was like a zombie.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to come up the stairs. He's lucky he didn't call his mom. I left her sleeping. It didn't even wake her up, which is good.
Yeah. So let's see. Right now I'm in the office portion of things here.
I'm going to blow you up big here. Let's see.
Goody.
There you go. Here's the office.
So this is the last part that we're going to be doing. But this is where my office is. I don't know if I can switch my camera around to the other view or not. Let's see. Nope, I just turned that off. Let me see if I can switch my camera to view the other way, but I don't think I can.
You should be able to, but the buttons are wonky when you're on the phone.
Yeah, it's the truth. Anyway, so I will try and just turn the phone around and show you. But behind me this was an old Bath and Body Works.
Bath and Body Works, okay.
That actually had a walkthrough to, at the time, was a Victoria's Secret, and then they moved. Well, Bath and Body Works moved, and Victoria's Secret moved. Express moved in to the Victoria's Secret side, which is where the shop is and the museum. And they just boarded up the old Bath and Body Works, so they figured since we were getting the big side, they may as well just throw in the extra. So
sure, that's cool.
This is the last part we're going to make real pretty because it's not going to be part of the tour. But let me see if I can do something decent here.
All right. I'm gonna fill the screen with your shot here now.
So what we have here, this is the old Bath and Body Works. I'm going to go up towards the front gate. And actually, if I have my key, let me. The mall is open, and for some reason they have the music blaring out there.
How is the mall? How is traffic at that mall?
This mall is doing very well. Cafaro has spent a lot of money to update and make it pretty, and this is a good shot. I'm opening the gate. I'm opening the gate here. So it's a very popular mall because this is a big tourist area. So we get traffic here from all over the place. So I'm out in the mall here, and so there is the front of the administrative section where our offices are.
There you go. Federation.
Yeah, and then we're going to add a little bit to that. And then right next door is where the shop and everything is.
There's some of the stuff. There you go.
There we go. And yeah, there's the sign. And then we're creating.
Now you're not officially open yet, correct?
Not until the 30th.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go back in and I will continue the tour.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, back to admin where the gate's open. Pam Shulin, she is the manager of the shop. And then Tim Shulin, who does
She's awfully pretty.
Yeah, ain't it? She's like almost invisible.
Yeah.
And then Tim Shulin's desk, he is an engineer of sorts. He does all the electronics work and builds things and things like that. There's all my costumes right down there. See?
All right.
My messy desk, messy. And then this other side of Bath and Body Works, not sure what we're going to do here yet. This is the workshop area. When we move the Enterprise in, she'll be parked right here because she needs a lot of work structurally, and then externally it's all fiberglass. So while she's
How big is that Enterprise that you have?
13 and a half feet long.
Nice.
So it'll be worked on here in this area.
Hard to hang in your office.
Yeah, hanging wouldn't be good. So it'll fit in here, and then we put in this doorway so that people.
Right, I remember talking with your construction guys about that when that was just in the talk stage.
Yeah, and so people can be in the main shop and see work on. Where am I doing my phone here? On the Enterprise, and then we're going to work on some other things. There's a chance we might get a second Enterprise that we're going to turn into Reliant. So we will see in that. Cool. Yeah, that's the engineering door. Around here will be all of the artwork and framed art and stuff that we have for sale. Let's go in the front and show you what's happening from way up here. Now, here is everything's still under construction, but we got 2 weeks to go. 2 weeks from yesterday.
Hurry up! I
know. Sheesh. Well, we're telling everyone it's phase 1 opening because it's not going to be totally done. The bridge won't be ready.
And getting merchandise in and all the museum type of stuff in takes time to get it all set up.
So from the front gate, the chair won't be there. See the captain's chair.
Yep.
That's going to go on the stage. Will be done. The bridge won't be on it, so that'll be going back to the stage. But there's our costume section over there, and
show people a nice shot of that captain's chair.
Oh yeah,
this is something I always wanted to get, folks, and they sold out in like a day, I think.
Oh yeah, from Master Replicas. There it is. So that's just a backdrop we're going to use until we get the bridge.
Uncle Dave and I were going to build one of those.
Yeah, it works. Ours works. Oh. Everything works.
Nice.
Yeah, so it works just fine. And then my favorite button on this side. That one's always good.
Nice.
Cage of Tribbles, and then our exclusive Woolly Bear Tribbles will be coming.
Nice.
Later this year. Here we have our non-air breathing delegates to the Federation, which.
Bookings OC, that's a huge space. He's going to have lots of space to do stuff.
Yeah, 10,000 square feet.
10,000 square feet.
So there's our delegates there. Nemo, Dad, Dory, anyway. And a couple of shrimp back here who are Coconut and Scamp. Anyway, Star Wars section. We had to include Star Wars section.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this part we're not sure what we're doing yet, but we've got so much merchandise. We'll fill those up.
And look how much space you still have as you're going toward the back of that store.
Well, wait, all back in the stock room, there is so much stuff. Um, that's my fun toy for the month.
Nice. I need one of those for painting murals.
I know. I have actually put my head through the ceiling twice.
Nice.
Yeah. Now up here, see these skylights?
Yep.
Part of phase 2, the top of those skylights will be space.
And they're not really skylights, so.
They're fake. And so those are going to be done in a space scene. We've got 3 of these.
That's too bad you can't backlight those.
I know. But we can, we've got the recessed lighting and things, but yeah.
Sure.
But when people look up, they'll see out into space.
Yeah. That's
Borg
cool.
section this is a temporary Borg section. What's going to happen here eventually is those mirrors. This entire thing will become a Borg regeneration station.
Right. So, if you're familiar with the show, guys, you'll know what that is.
Yeah. Back here, we are calling this right now the library. And it's where all of our books and DVDs and things.
I love the way that main counter turned out.
Oh, yeah. I still have, as you can tell, some work to do.
Sure.
The lights are in. I have to fix where the lights are coming out, and it's going to need a little bit of a quarter round so people can't see the light strings from back at the front of the store. So that turned out. Behind there will be the engineering mural.
Yes.
Here we've got all of the glassware and mugs.
See a Randall flag?
There's the stage.
There's the stage where the bridge will go.
Right. It's gonna be twice this size. So actually all of this wood floor will be
okay. That'll be covered by raised stage.
Yep, and then bridge stations all along the walls. And then we'll have the chair, the helm, all of the stations against the wall, and of course Scotty's famous warp.
Yeah, the warp core is going to go on that pillar.
Yeah,
from
it's going to
Next
look like
Generation.
a warp core. Yeah, the warp core.
There you go.
And then this next week, all of this part. This used to be 4 dressing rooms that we tore the guts out, and
I think it'd be so cool if you had like 20 different mannequins, all in uniform, just set up all around the shop, like
naked.
You walk in and you're amongst the crew.
Oh, wouldn't that be so? We could do that.
Yeah.
We might. In fact, we might do that. I have 3 screen used costumes that I have to find smaller mannequins for. 5 foot, 5'1". I have to look for it. This section's all going to be black from the ceiling to the floor, black, and then we'll have a 75-inch TV there. Chairs for a couple of rows of seats for people to watch stuff going on the stage. So we'll have events, we'll have weddings, we'll have all kinds of stuff.
And yeah, I was saying to people, this is going to be a facility where people can rent out for events.
Yep.
You rent out areas when you're in the paranormal. You rent out places to go ghost hunting. This will be renting it out to bring your Star Trek group in and do your Star Trek thing.
Right, and
on a replica of the bridge.
Yep, you can propose to your mate. You can have your wedding here. We can
there you go.
I am an ordained minister. Bless you.
There you go.
This is the stock room. This is the base for the stage. All the different stuff we brought from the old place. There's stock. All of these. That's all stuff we still have to put out. Lots of stuff.
Very cool.
It's very messy back here. Shipping room. I just finished with that yesterday. What else?
Foo Kings says I don't know if it's pronounced Foo Kings or Fookings. He says you need a magic infinity mirror for the Borg station.
Yeah, I know. Well, when Mike builds that, then we'll deal with that. So
right
here, there's
your briefing room.
No, this is the sonic shower. This is actually the only dressing room we're going to have left. We're going to tear all the other ones out. So the sonic shower is what we're calling the dressing room.
Nice.
And then these 4 dressing rooms over here, everything's going to be gutted. And this is going to be the subspace radio studio. This
Oh,
whole,
very nice.
so we're going to tear out all 4 rooms, wall this out right here. And that's our studio. This is Temmie, Cadet Temmie. She is the tour giving robot. Where is she?
Oh,
There
right,
she is.
right.
So Temmie will give tours starting September 30th when we open. And I think for now, that's that. It's a big, big space. And really, our plan is to have it be a big open space so you can wander.
Very
We're
cool.
going to have signs at different places telling people about the Federation and what each station does and things like that.
Right, right.
And, sponsor names everywhere. So that's the
Very
plan.
cool.
So anyway, that's the scoop from inside here. I thought the
Right on.
electrician was coming today, but the electrician told me he couldn't make it. So
Yeah.
so it's yard work for me, I think. But yeah, that's the scoop. There's still lots to do in 2 weeks, but I think we'll be ready. And then Saturday, September 30th, we open, and if it still fits,
Nice.
I'll be in costume. So we will see.
I need to get me one of those, the new captain's green sweater that you saw Pike wearing in the new series. That's a takeoff of the old Kirk, V-neck sweater.
Well, mister, I have, coming from Saigon, I think, I have Kirk's original, well, not Kirk's original, but I have
replica,
replica of the green wraparound that
nice.
might appear in your mailbox.
Oh.
So if you want that one, I look so fat when I hold the camera that way.
I need an extra large.
And it's actually it's the only size they had. So
that's good.
So I'll send you a.
And you got to be in shape to wear those. There ain't no hiding nothing on those skimpy, tight-fitting costumes from back in the day.
Shatner didn't have to, but Riker in Next Gen, when they had those spandex jumpsuits, he had to wear a girdle.
Yeah, I read that. He's like, these spandex costumes are for the birds.
And if you look, you can see the line where the girdle holding in the gut. But I need more than a girdle. I mean, I would probably not be able to breathe.
Oh, dude, that's the constant battle nowadays, is that lower paunch.
Oh God.
So,
and being the what do they call it? Barrel-chested Italian type.
Yep.
I don't have a good time. So I will hopefully be in costume when we open on the 30th. Most of the time, the staff here, and everybody's a volunteer, nobody gets paid, will be in costume, although I did order polo shirts for all of us.
Sure.
And then we're going to put another door here between the office and the shop. So if people come in, we can just go zoom right over there.
And tell people, when you say everybody's a volunteer, let people know this isn't just, we're opening a retail store and we want everybody to work for free. No, you've got the Trek Federation. Give everybody the 2-minute rundown on Trek Federation. What you
2 minutes. Well,
or make it 3 if you need to.
Okay. In 1983, I decided to start a fan club. Didn't like any of them because they were all about watching videos in mom's basement and stuff. And
right.
Cool. And, playing and role playing. I'm like, that's not really what got me into it. So I figured if I was going to start one, I'm going to do it right. I called Paramount, asked to talk to Roddenberry. Didn't get to talk to Roddenberry right away. He wasn't there, but he called me back about 10 days later. I told him my story. He said, okay, let's get to work. So nice. The Federation is, at the time, the 20th century version of the 23rd century Federation. We are a service organization. The Gene's design was that we do what the crew of the Enterprise does in every episode, and that is we go places and help people. So we have chapters around the world that help people locally. When there's a major disaster, we coordinate all of that stuff and send people and supplies and aid to wherever it's needed. That's why we got the new Galileo shuttle. Look at that nice shirt.
It
holds more stuff. The Copernicus van is more for people. Galileo can hold a ton of stuff. It's mostly these days been taking water to East Palestine, Ohio, where they had the big train derailment. But as the weather gets a little more difficult around here, it'll be going all throughout the eastern half of the U.S., and then we'll start working on getting shuttles on the western half and all
Cool.
over the world. So no one's ever been paid. I've been doing this for 40 years without a penny in my pocket.
Yeah.
I have actually dished out a whole lot more than
Yes.
that I would dare tell the wife. So, yeah, everybody at the store is a volunteer.
I could imagine, though, if this takes off as an event center, as a retail store, that might change the complexion for a few employees. Then you might need employees to run things as opposed to just fan club or not fan club group members that will run that thing for free. So once it starts becoming something that can turn a profit, then that becomes a different animal altogether.
And it allows us to be open more, because right now we can only be open. And the mall has been wonderful in that we don't have to be open mall hours.
That's good.
But if we do start, making some revenue here, we can hire people and be open mall hours, and that would be fantastic because then we'd sell even more. And the way it works is we sell merchandise that pays the bills. It doesn't pay us, but it pays the bills. And so that allows us, when people donate to our humanitarian fund, we don't have to take any off the top for operating expenses.
Right.
100% goes to help people.
That's good. That's good.
See what I mean about my hair, though? There's nothing.
Yeah. Mine's pretty much the same way. I put the color in, and it thickened my hair for a little bit.
Wow.
So we'll have to see where it goes when it starts to wear down again.
Yeah, it's a hopeless case, I think. Every day I go, holy cats. But now I look in the mirror and go, oh no, it's my dad. So
yeah.
I look just like my grandson. We did his first birthday party, and my dad and I are side by side, and he kept looking back and forth like, how are there two of you? And
nice.
Yeah. So growing old is no fun. But
it's not.
The way I look at it is I am still 17 years old.
Right up here.
Yeah, it's all, I refuse to say, oh, I'm old, I can't do this. I mean, I will say I'm fat, I can't do this.
You're right. I can't bend over like I used to.
No, there's no way. So, like, my wife will go
holding the grapefruit some mornings.
Yeah, my wife will say, go pick up the sticks from the trees from the storm. I'm like, nah. You're 5'2". You're closer. Yeah. You're 5'2".
The older I get, the closer the ground, or the farther away the ground gets.
Yeah, so, and tying my shoes, not fun.
And you know what? There's ways, of course, to combat that to a certain degree. You're never going to combat entropy. Happens, death happens, the body decays. Yeah, we all know that.
Yeah,
there's things you can do to stay in shape, but it's like I look at it now and said, I wish 40 years ago I'd been prepping for this day, which I didn't do.
Right.
And so now that I'm not elderly by any means, but now that I'm in my 60s, it's like it's a little slower some days. Bending over hurts more.
Buying my first car was my downfall. I mean, I could jog unlimited miles. I could, ride my bike forever. I bought a car, and I'm like, I'm not jogging anymore. I'm not weightlifting anymore. I got a car.
Yeah.
And I've tried the old, take a walk every day. I'm like, I've seen all the scenery already. It's boring.
Yeah.
So there's no winning. It's all mental, and I am not mental. Well,
that's right. So I've got the Nordic track out there. I do some chair yoga. It's slow. It's a slow process. Chair yoga. It's like, it's not old fogey yoga. It's low impact. And so, I do exercises in the chair, and I've noticed, I've gone from a 40-inch waist in my pants back to a 38, which is nice. Good. I'd like to be a 34, which is where I was. I wasn't even that small when I met Raini. So
man.
That's the goal, though.
I have been hovering around a 38 for a while. I mean, pushing a 40. When I was a kid, 17, 18, I was a 28, 32. So 28-inch waist, 32-inch inseam. Yeah, I was a skinny dude.
I was never that. I was 34,
Ooh.
32 when I was in high school.
And then Italian caught up with me, and boy, there you go. You know, it's my wife's problem. It's my wife's fault. She's a good cook. So Becky, it's your fault.
There you go.
I know.
Subspace should get a cat trike or a recumbent trike.
Oh,
is what Fuking says.
I was looking at one of those motorized bikes, but my wife's like, "What's the use? You don't do any exercise on that bike." I'm like, "Yeah, but it looks cool."
Yeah, get a motor on it. Then you can maintain the not having to do any exercise on it.
There you go. So but
I remember telling my dad a few years back when I was just before I was dating Raini. I told my dad, "Yeah, I'm biking 12 miles a day." And I said, "So, and I'm getting in pretty good shape." And I was 50 pounds lighter. What am I now? 40 to 45 pounds lighter than I am now when I met Rainey. And because I was biking. And my dad had motorcycling in his head. He goes, "How does biking get you in shape?" I said, "Dad, bicycling. Oh. So.
Dad, it's the vibration of the wheels on the road.
Yeah, the vibration of the wheels.
Now, when I started the Fed, a couple of years after we started, I had a monster maroon uniform. I was 80 pounds lighter. I had to sell it because there's no way I'd ever get it back on. I was 80 pounds lighter then. It was one gorgeous uniform.
Nice.
But as I continued to grow as they grow. Yeah. They outgrow their maroon uniform. So there's not a chance. I have a Pike jacket from the later movies. I have Picard. I have a Pike from Discovery. That's probably what I'll wear.
Yeah.
But the boots just.
I have to voice something here as an aside. I don't like the bright gold yellow that they've gone to for the command color uniforms.
Right.
I don't know why they interpreted that as being, because they weren't ever that color. They were a greenish gold.
Yeah, and the cameras didn't cover it. Didn't
right.
Yeah, didn't broadcast it in the right hue. Yeah, so they look gold, but the Strange New Worlds gold is poke your eye gold. Yeah. Gold tooth gold.
Because and it's funny, the Kirk wraparound sweater, that V-neck sweater he wore, guys, that had the little wraparound, that always displayed the proper color of those things, but it was a different kind of fabric. So it didn't have, it wasn't the velour and all of that. So but that's the true color of the command uniforms, that light, you could almost say olivey drab, but it was that like goldy drab, olive drab color was the color of Kirk's command shirt.
I think I'm glad that the gold became command, just because green would have been
Yeah, green.
So I guess it
wears green well.
Yeah, nobody. I mean, remember the green on Tuesday thing? Was that Thursday?
I don't know.
If you wore green on Thursday, you get pinched or something. I don't remember.
Oh, really?
So I made sure not to wear green on Thursday. I think it was Thursday.
Nice.
Maybe it's an Ohio thing. I don't know.
I used to go to work in your underwear on Thursdays and get pinched more often.
Well, that was your stripper job, Scotty.
My wife messaged me. Hold on. What did she message me?
Cool.
She sent me some, just copied me in something, a life hack thing she likes to look at. So she puts up these things sometimes and tags me in them, and it's all like, and men, this is how to win your wives. And I'm like, I know all this. Are you giving me subtle messages? Am I missing something here? And I'm like, I do that. Well, I do that too. And I do that. So, but she puts them up in the public. I think it's to let people know, this is what I get at home. Yeah. Make sure your man watches this. So.
Yeah, right. Oh, well, anyway. My wife was on vacation this week because I'm retired. And and our daughter bought her first house. So my wife's vacation was not much of a vacation. She was helping paint and work on the new house for the daughter and son-in-law to move in.
Yeah.
She looks tired, and it's, the last day of her vacation, and she's whooped. Oh, well. I told her, take another one in a couple weeks. Nah, I don't wanna. Really? If I had the time, I was jumping on vacation. But being retired is a wonderful thing. Although I think sometimes she resents it. I married a younger chick, not as young as your chick,
Yeah.
but yeah, so poor
It's
thing.
funny when you can say, and I used this yesterday. Rainey said something to me about, well, you're just an old man and you got old man tastes. It's about decorating or something in the house. I said, old man tastes. I said, I ain't that much older than you. I said, you want to go old man? I said, go back to the Roman Empire and
Oh,
compare how the difference between your and my age and me and the Roman Empire, you know, there's not, 20 years,
so
19 and a half years is not a big difference.
perhaps
And
you
I
should
said,
offer to
keep in
view the
mind,
house.
I said to Rainey, I said, you are now the age I was when you met me
Mm-hmm.
and fell in love with me. I
Yes,
said, so
my man,
it
the
ain't
older
that
gentleman.
old.
Yeah, there you go. So maybe
So,
to demonstrate ancient taste, maybe do up a couple drawings of what the house would look like in Minoan style or
yeah,
Egyptian style. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Dress her up in some Egyptian outfit.
Way ahead of you. Here, Rainey, I got this translucent silk that you need to wear. This see-through linen because of the hot desert weather we have here. Go ahead and put this on. I'd very much like a line from Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'd very much like to see you in this. With, what's his name? Belloc, when he had
Oh,
Marion in the tent.
mhm.
He pulls out the dress. I would very much like to see you in this. And
Yeah.
her response, I'll bet you would.
Yeah.
And that's what Rainey says to me. I'll bet you would.
Hmm. Women, they think they
Yep.
have it by the. Well, they do.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
They do kind of. And they use it. Wow, we
Yeah.
could turn the show into a really negative thing about male and female relationships. And they use it. And they hang
Yeah.
it over our heads and they dangle it like a carrot out in front of us to make us
And we
do
go
shit.
along with it, and we do exactly what they plan.
Yes. Hey, honey, how about a little bit of this? And they'll go, oh, what have you done for me lately?
Oh, see, I get the Becky gives me the old half smile, and then there's nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
I guess that's I don't know. Is maybe dangerous ground here, but if I was married to somebody who was my age,
mm,
no offense to any woman who's 63 years old, but if I was married to a woman my age, it would probably be a lot less rodeo time. Rodeo.
I,
I don't know,
I,
maybe
I,
not.
I
I've
could
never
rodeo,
experienced a
a couple
woman my
times a
age
week. Yeah,
in
I
that
think
sense. 63 is what I mean.
I
But
just got to
Rainey
get my.
being almost 20 years younger, it's
Yeah,
I
well,
kind of
too,
like it.
she hasn't hit menopause yet. Just wait.
I didn't get Botoxed, Elderberry. Elderberry, see if you can guess what's different about me today. Oh, can you guess? It was a wild hair up my ass. So,
Well, I mean,
um,
I know. Rowan. Well, she dyed her hair a while back. Wasn't that purple? Was that Rowan or was that Ellery?
oh, that was Rowan.
Oh yeah.
Ellery did some kind of purpley red
Mhm.
because
There you go.
Ellery did that because the older sister did it.
Hmm.
And
And at
she
least you
did a
didn't get
color and then
purple.
she went blonde. She bleached it. But Rowan's hair color is the color of Rainey's hair,
Right.
brunette. And so I told her she wanted something. I said, I'll make you a deal. You color your hair back the color of mom's. And I said there was a reason for that because there was something where there was a picture we took, and I said, oh, it was the Renaissance Festival
Yeah.
costume.
Yeah.
I said, you're wearing mom's old costume, and she's not as big as Rainey was. I mean, Rainey made that costume when she was 28, 29,
Yeah.
and Rowan's 11. And so, but Rowan's growing up a little too fast. She's, shall we say, for the sake of delicate ears in the audience, she is developing way too quick for my
Well,
likes.
let's just
But
say she's got her mom's female
she's got
hormone.
her mom's attributes.
Mm-hmm.
And and she's cheerleader and volleyball star and all of the basketball, and so she's very athletic and all that. But I'll tell you what, when she put on Rainey's costume, I said, if your hair had been the color of Mom's, I said you'd look just like a mini mom.
And luckily, your girls look more like Rainey than you.
They do. Lucky for them. Except my older daughters look more like me.
They look a lot like you, yeah.
They look like me.
The mermaid.
My older son looks like me.
That's true.
Let's see. Morgan said, "What? I'm offended." LOL, says Morgan Snow. No offense intended. So, yeah, that was a dangerous branch to walk out on. I was just saying, in my personal experience, since I'm married to somebody who is 20 years younger than me, I don't know what she would be like. I have to wait another 20 years to find out what she'll be like at the age I am now.
And then what will you be like in 20 years?
Yeah, I'll be 83.
Yeah.
So,
but
should I live so long?
Yeah, well, I think, that probably keeps you younger because,
it keeps me trying. There are days where I do not feel like I'm not gonna make it to 83, and it's like, oh my God, I can't bend over now. What am I gonna be when I'm 83? So that is the and Rainey kind of puts that out there too. It's that's the thing. Hey, if you don't get in shape now and stay in shape and work on that, imagine what you'll be 20 years from now.
Yeah.
And so I gotta think about that stuff. I always saw myself when I was young as going into my elderly years being in great shape, and still muscle, boom.
Yeah.
And I thought, I kind of wonder about it now. I'm like, oh, am I going to make it to that? I wouldn't mind being a who was it that always looked really good as they like Kirk Douglas?
Oh yeah.
And he was over 100 when he died. Wasn't he 106 or something like that? And he looked frail toward the end there, but
who doesn't?
He was a guy in his 80s that 80 was the new 55 for Kirk Douglas. And some of those guys.
Shatner doesn't look bad.
Shatner doesn't look bad. Shatner's put on weight.
Yeah.
But he's 92 years old.
I know.
So
and his brain is there, unlike
his mind is there, unlike some people we know.
Yeah, some 80-year-olds who have no mind.
Yep. Chuck Norris is another one. Grumpy Stack just said.
I think, isn't Chuck having some hard times? I thought he had some health issues. He was in a wheelchair or something. I don't remember. Maybe it was just clickbait or something.
Norris, I don't know. Steph says, I don't know about that, Scotty. I find the older I'm getting, the more rambunctious I am in the sheets. In the sheets, she says. How you doing, Steph?
I know.
It's always go time, seems like.
Wow.
Well, hopefully that Rainey's got a little bit of this. I think I'm going through like premenopausal stuff. Is that what this is? And I keep hearing from women that are a lot older than Rainey that said, I went through this in my late 40s, and then man, it snapped back, and I was randier than a drunken sailor into my 50s. And I'm like, I can only hope.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Well, but when I go to Sheetz, I get the pretzels and the nacho cheese. But those Sheetz work I do. See, because she said she was rambunctious in the Sheetz. But when I go to Sheetz, I get the pretzel and cheese.
And there it is. Pretzel and cheese.
Gas station humor.
That's right.
Are you still working that part-time job?
No.
Oh,
I quit that a long time ago.
I thought that was killing you.
I worked it. We figured we were doing some tax stuff last week, and it's like, when did I quit the Quick Trip job? And I basically had it for the 3 to 4 weeks it took to sit and watch videos in the back room and train. And then I worked probably 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And then after that, I what was it that got me out of that? Oh, I had the back strain that we thought might have been something heart related, and I was in the hospital for 3 days. And that's when I made the decision. I said, look, you know what? I'm not staying up all night to make $19.50 an hour.
Nope.
I'm just not doing this anymore. It's
Yeah.
you've got to have, part of that decision was not so much age as it was when you work nights like that, that's not conducive for a person that has a family, a spouse and a family and kids and all that.
Nope.
Working nights does not work.
No.
That doesn't mean there are not people that are forced into having to work nights because it's all they've got. So I said, you know what? I did this to make extra money, and I just ain't doing this anymore. And
I
so
worked a day job from home for a couple of months. I'm like, I just, I got too much Fed stuff to do, so gave up the dough. Nice company.
yeah,
And I liked the job, but I just don't have time. And so I'll give up the dough for what, for the greater good.
the greater good.
Yeah.
Steph says, I think a lot has to do with the kids being older, and now I have more me time. Well,
Me
Steph
time.
Cuervo Queen, yeah, I could see that. Half of the I will say this, Russ, you have kids, right?
Tons of
Tons
kids.
of kids. When you are married and you have kids running around, me time or us time, it's not
Not
existent.
much. It
It's
was.
you got to get away. You got to go somewhere.
Mhm.
Mom and dad are. We take the car and go park somewhere out in the country.
Yeah,
Right now, it's every time Rainey and I are together. If there's even the inkling, the twinkle in our eyes of, hey, a kid comes in, plops in the middle, and goes, hey, what are we watching? We're watching you leave the room.
yeah, get
You
out.
guys are so mean to us. No, we just want some private time. And
Yeah.
with Rainey, she's a mom. She is a full-time mom
Oh
who
yeah.
also is now working part-time.
She's working
Um,
again. That's good.
she's working at she was doing massage,
And I
which
know
was great because massage was great because she could do 2-3 massages a week. And on her own, she had to schedule with people, but she would make enough doing that as working 32 hours a week at a company
There you go.
and at a store. So she's working at the Dollar General right now,
Oh,
which is
I see.
a 3-minute drive from here.
Yeah.
And she worked at the thrift store, but she got like a day a week at the thrift store. So now she's working at the Dollar General, and she's working about 30 hours a week.
Wow.
And she told them outright they were looking for somebody. I think you go in and you present the fact that you're competent and you know what the hell you're doing. And she went in there. She showed him a resume. She said, here's what I do. Here's what I've been doing for the last 20 years. I've been a massage therapist. I can't do that anymore. She injured her shoulder.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't do that anymore. So she went in there and she said, I can only take this job if I can work mornings till early afternoon. No weekends. I can't do weekends because I got kids at home and I need to spend time with them. I do scouts, so I can't work evenings. And she just laid it out. And she said, and I need this much money an hour, which is 2.5 more bucks an hour than you're paying.
Wow.
And she came home. She said, I probably won't get that. Well, they gave it to her. She got her hours. She works 3 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. And
So you take the kids to school, and she.
I take the kids to school in the morning,
Yeah.
and they could walk. We were
Oh.
talking about this the other day too. My kids could walk to school.
Oh, sure.
It's a less than a 10-minute walk to school. But you know why we drive them? We started driving them because, when it got cold, it's like, I'm not going to make my kid walk to school in 2 degrees.
Yeah. Oh,
Although
yeah.
I did it when I
I
was
did
a
it
kid.
too. Uphill both ways.
See, we're softer on our kids
Yeah.
than we were in our generation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Steph. Yeah, you're talking about it right there. However, I did enjoy the sporadic nooners.
There's nothing better.
Yeah, that's what's nice about having the kids in school.
True.
3 kids gone 6 hours a day.
We're empty nesters. We got nobody but the dogs. And
And it's like, you might have it in your mind that, oh, kids are in school tomorrow. Tomorrow, we make good time with the nooner. And then you got a kid will go the next morning. They'll go,
I got tummy
I'm
ache.
sick today.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're not sick. You're going to school.
Yeah. No, we got plans. Go on.
Yeah, working less hours makes a huge difference. Yeah.
My ex-wife had the rule: if you're not throwing up, you're going to school.
If you're not dying, if you're not bleeding or throwing up, it's go time for school.
There you go.
And I don't feel good. Yeah, we've got the experience of, I don't feel good. Oh, I'm dying. And by 10:30, 11 o'clock a.m., the 8-year-old especially, she's up bouncing off the walls, running around. She wants to go outside and go biking. No, you're sick today.
You're sick today. Yeah, you can't even go out after
kids,
school.
If you're sick,
that's right.
You're sick.
You're in your room all day.
You're in your room. You don't get to hang out on the internet all day long. You can have the TV on, but you can sleep and relax and get better. We want to make it so that being homesick is not a fun break from school.
Exactly.
And if we see that they are healthy and good to go by noon,
half the day of school,
sometimes I'll take them in. Hey, you're feeling better? I'm taking you in.
No,
don't do that. No.
I have to take a nap. Yeah. You're a tyrant, Scotty.
I put him to work doing chores.
There you go.
Hey, you're fine. You were outside dicking around, playing, riding your bike when you didn't go to school this morning. You can do some extra chores for Mom and Dad.
Yep, but now all the kids are grown and out.
See, according to
grandkids and
nice.
It's nice being able to walk through the house. Don't know what you got on, but it doesn't matter because nobody's gonna see you.
Nobody's gonna see you.
Yep, except maybe the neighbors looking in the front window if they're looking. Right. If they want to look in the front window, they get what they get.
And I got to tell you, when you have kids, okay, this might be a little dainty for more sensitive ears, but I'm going to tell you, when you get up in the morning, guys, we have this thing what you call morning wood.
Morning wood.
And you go shambling in half asleep stupor to the bathroom. Because down here, we're in the master bedroom is down here. We don't have a bathroom down here. That'd be something we add eventually in this house. But so we got to go upstairs and use the main bathroom. You shamble upstairs in a pair of undies. And my undies are nice. They look like biking shorts. They're black boxer briefs and usually a T-shirt I'll wear. You go shambling upstairs and you got kids running out of the room. Running around, you're like, oh no. I have morning wood. And you're like, I'm gonna watch out for the kids.
Yeah.
Call their bluff, Fookings.
Oh, yikes. Yeah, I've got my own bathroom right off the bedroom. Becky has her own outside. So anyway, it's the old morning wood.
Well, see, Flynn has the master bedroom in the house. Which has the master bath attached. We're down here in the bigger room, which we've made the master bedroom, but there's no bath down here. So
bucket. Get the bucket.
Yep.
Or we have one of those sinks because in the basement we've got washer dryer and one of those sinks. You just pee in the sink.
Oh yeah, why not? We could. What we'd like to do, the master plan is build a big master bath down here. And I'm talking, we were at the, all we've got for bathtubs and stuff in this house and showers, your typical house built 35 years ago, your typical shower stall with the tub built into it. And sometimes Raini she'll be taking a bath in that. And she's laying down with her head up like this, and her knees are up, and she's reading something or, trying to soak in the bathtub, but it doesn't fill all the way up because there's not enough room. And the water displacement is about all the fill she gets. So yesterday 2 days ago, we were at the store, and out of a little bit of our tax return, that we got to keep. We bought flooring. We're putting in wood flooring upstairs. Linoleum, not linoleum, laminate wood flooring.
Yep, that's what we got.
Ripping out the old nasty carpet that came with the house. Yeah. And so we're putting that in. But as we walked down to that section, she saw a big bathtub. And it was a freestanding, new, modern, freestanding with the claw feet.
Oh yeah, we saw that.
And you just hook them up, and it was tall and long. And she went, "Oh," she said, "I'm not even going to look at that. I'm not even going to look at it." And I go, "Look at this." I said, "It's only $1,000. It was $1,000 bathtub. Wow. I can't afford." And that's why I said only.
Yeah.
And I said, "Look at this. You could lean back. It had the back of it was just a lean back. Mm-hmm. You could stretch your legs all the way out." And she threw in, "Yeah, and my boobs could float in that." And I said, "Oh,
is that let's get it criteria?" Yeah, let's get it.
So yeah, we're gonna build eventually. You know,
you do it down there. You build one down there. You can have that big bathtub.
I would like to do the big bathtub or a big jacuzzi tub, which would be nice. And I'm not talking a hot tub, big jacuzzi tub where you could fit comfortably. If I crawl into the bath with Raini, it's almost impossible.
Oh yeah.
Somebody's got a faucet in their back, or you're both sitting, with your knees up to your chin. Hey, this is a fun Sessit time bath, not. And so I've just done that. I've crawled in with Raini, or she's crawled in with me. Let's take a bath, and then it's like there's no room.
No room at the end.
And neither of us are dainty people. I'm not talking about we're big, fat, blubbery or anything like that. We're just not dainty people.
You're not skinny, starving people.
Right. So Steph says, she's talking to Elderberry. Oh, what, Elderberry? LOL. I have no restrictions put on me now unless I say restrict me somehow. Oh, behave, Steph.
I'm liking what she's putting down.
She says, empty nester now. So it's so freeing to be able to walk around my house naked, even being able to do laundry naked, make coffee, etc., all naked.
Wow.
Well,
the house next door for sale?
I'll tell you, my wife walks around naked anyway, sometimes with a towel around the bottom or panties or something, but she breastfed all 3 kids, and she's always been topless around our house. And the girls are like, they don't care. My son has now reached that age at 14 where he's like, oh my God, mom's naked.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And she's like, even she recognized, I got to stop walking around naked because Flynn is now not a little kid anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, doesn't bother me though. So, yeah, when you get kids of a certain age, you got to act different.
Yeah, you got to back some of that off. Yeah.
Yep.
Don't know how it's going to affect them psychologically.
Yeah, psychologically.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're walking around naked, and our kids will be in therapy when they're 30. So.
Could be. Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Interesting. Okay, now that our Steph stuff is over, we got nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, if there's a house next door, yeah.
Steph, you should call in.
Well, maybe with clothes on.
Yeah. I wasn't going to put any caveats on it, but
but we're old guys.
You have to be careful.
We can't, the hearts can't.
That's right.
Yeah.
Shorts and t-shirts. Yep.
Yeah, but we didn't say anything about bra and panties, did we?
Well, no. and that's it. And not that any of you need to really know this, but I'm still in my undies.
No way.
So
I'm not.
I do this show in my undies.
Wow.
So there you go.
Yeah, I have never been on with you in my underwear. Well, I have had underwear on, but
I've been on the show where I've been in undies.
Wow.
And you throw on a nice shirt. I walk by the closet, grab a shirt like this morning. I grabbed this. That's why it's not pressed. I don't like wearing stuff that lays out. Like I like to press my shirts And even this, it's a denim shirt, but this is all wrinkly from, being in the dryer.
Oh yeah.
And I usually take an iron and a steam iron, and I'll press that stuff out. And
The
I'll press
Adventures
the
of
collar.
Domestic Scotty.
Yeah. So it's always been that way.
Got it.
So what did Steph say? Well, I had kids' boyfriends living here too. And so that's why, yeah, that's not fun. Elderberry says, no, her neighbors won't sell. I already checked.
Well,
So
one day.
that's right.
Oh, so back to Fed business. It's just
Yes.
being well, you don't have this issue, but I am so OCD that things pop into my head because it makes no sense at the time. When we
That's
do
a creative trait, by the way.
I
OCD.
guess. After we get the bridge built and we're our phase 2 grand opening, have you seen the pictures of the guy who looks just like Leonard Nimoy's Spock that lives in Vegas? Is what's his
It's
name?
not German Spock, is it? Not that
No,
guy.
well, he's from Ottawa, but he moved to Vegas years ago. Paul Forrest is his name. I think it's Paul.
He's on Instagram.
He's Spock Vegas, so he looks
Let me
so
take
much
a
like
look.
Nimoy. He's coming. We're having him come in for the grand opening. Spock Vegas. Paul Forrest. I'm almost
very cool. Spock
Yeah.
Vegas. Here he is.
Yeah, there he is.
I'm calling him up. Oh yeah, he's got the look.
Oh shoot, yeah, and he does the ears good. He's got the costumes.
Yep.
So he'll be here for the big unveiling of the bridge and everything else.
He's got the look. He's not perfect, of course.
No.
He does a great Abraham Lincoln.
I didn't see his Lincoln.
Got a picture of him doing Lincoln.
No, I guess he could.
Now, I don't know if that's a doctored picture, a Photoshop picture. It might be.
I don't know. He's tall like Lincoln. He's like
But
6.
yeah, he's got a couple of shots in here where he looks very Leonard. The one where he is looking up in the bright lighting, going up the ladder off the corridor. He's looking up. He looks very Leonard Nimoy in that picture.
And the thing is, he's not a pro, so he doesn't charge an arm and a leg.
Right.
So he's a good guy. He grew up in Ottawa, and I guess they speak French there, and so he got Star Trek there redubbed in French. So
nice.
Not till the 70s, I think, is what he said.
Wow.
So he's a good guy. He's gonna whenever there's a Vegas show like the Fed. We've had a booth at the Las Vegas Star Trek show for the last couple of years. We're going to have one again next year, but we're doubling the size of it. And there's talk of me being there maybe for a couple of days. And so Paul Forrest is always there as Spock.
That's cool. I will tell you, no insult to Paul Forrest. He looks more like Lincoln to me than he looks like Leonard Nimoy. But he pulls off a good Leonard Nimoy.
He does, yeah, he's not bad.
If you go to Instagram and you look up, I think it's German Spock.
I'm not flying him into
he's from Germany.
Yeah. That's an expensive trip.
German Spock is one word. German Spock _official. And you can look at his site. He's done some pretty good stuff over the years. Now you see him, he is starting to age a little bit, but as we all do. But he pulls off a pretty good Spock. And he's done it. That's been a thing of his for a long time.
Oh, I didn't even know he existed, but getting him in here would be cost prohibitive because
Germany.
Vegas is a little cheaper.
Yes.
Airlines tend to make flights to and from Vegas relatively cheap.
Sure. Vegas is a cheap place to fly to.
Yeah. So anyway, so I think I am going to be there. I think it's in August every year. I haven't been there in forever. I don't like traveling. Traveling just makes me nervous. But I may make the trip just because the people out there work so hard in their Federation duties that I owe it to them every so often.
Right. Steph, you put a few have gotten a show or two. Not on purpose, just an oh fuck moment. There are times where I'm not thinking about it because I'm a guy. I think I'm visceral, living in the moment. And my wife might walk out in something skimpy, and I grab that and I pull it off, and she goes, "Hey, mister, the blinds are open. We got these big windows facing the street.
Me
We've
too.
got a big yard, but I'm like, nobody's looking. Nobody knows you're there. I don't care." And
Take the moment. Seize the moment.
my wife is not a bashful person, but she is discreet when she needs to be. So
Yeah. Yeah, like if the
so
neighborhood kids are, 6, 7-year-olds are playing out front.
right,
You don't need that kind of
right,
exposure. Overexposure.
yep. So that's about all we got to talk about
Yeah, I can't
on
think of
that.
much else. Now there's still, I want to get you out here one time or another.
Maybe I should try to get out there for your grand opening.
The Grand with you and Paul together.
Yeah,
We could do
maybe.
that. I don't know how long Christopher will take building the bridge stations.
I want to get out there when that's being built or nearing completion or
Mhm.
done even,
Okay. Yeah. We'll work on that. And who knows, maybe maybe we'll truck you in for the Vegas show. I don't know. So that would be cool. Think of all your fans in Vegas that'll be swarming the place to see you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my Vegas fan base.
Mhm. How are you? I have only gambled. My gambling career is
Oh,
about
I'm not a gambler.
buck and a quarter. I think is my total gamble at the time. I
Yeah,
was
I
in,
think
I
I
was
I
in the
have never gambled much.
really no I was in the airport coming back from Vegas. The last time I was there, um, there was a nickel slot in the airport, so I put in a nickel. I won a quarter. I won a quarter.
Nice.
So there you go.
I
But
put in I was in Vegas 30 years ago, mid 90s, and I can't remember if I had a token or if I could put in a coin. I don't remember what they do there, if it's all changed in 30 years, but I was there on business, and we're walking through to go to the restaurant, and I think I just put a quarter in a slot machine. I won $78, and I said, "Oh,
wow.
I'm done.
Yeah, that's all you need. Wow.
Works
Yeah.
for me."
Why piddle it all away when you probably lose it? Just keep it.
Right.
Oh,
And we
that's
went, well, Rainey and I went once, maybe 15 years ago with friends of ours to one of the big casinos here on one of the reservations. And we did what did we do? We did a little bit of blackjack, a little bit of, God, did we play bingo? I think we played bingo. And we won some, a couple $100.
wow.
And they had, of course, for people gambling, you can go into those buffets and it's just unreal. And it doesn't cost you hardly anything.
But yeah, you got to
So
be a gambler to get because I
yeah,
was
you got to be on the gambling floor and doing your thing.
yeah, and the last time I was there, it was a long time ago. You get the buffet steak and buffet for $4.99. Ain't
Yeah,
getting that
yeah,
now. So, but I know how to eat cheap in Vegas.
right.
So we will, and actually, I think Sharif, who was last name I can't say, who was our biggest donor in um, ever, and he's been a member for almost 30 years. He may be going to Vegas with me just because it's
Cool,
been forever since they saw it. So yeah,
cool.
maybe we'll have the
Do
Scotty
they
tag
still have the
along.
big Star Trek thing at Vegas?
Yep, that's what we're going to.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, the 58th
I'd like to
year
see
maybe.
that.
Yeah, so
I'd
maybe.
also like to see Zach Baggins' Haunted Museum
Would you
if I
really?
went to Vegas.
Is that in Vegas? Oh
Yep,
wow, maybe. Did
yep.
you ever meet Zach back in your paranormal days?
I've never met him. He's one of the few people I've never really talked to. Um, I was more in with the ghost hunters guys. Well, I worked for them, and I knew all those people around them
Right.
that also spilled over into the other shows and stuff.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, international.
so
Hmm.
yeah, Zach is somebody I have not met or even talked to. So
Yeah, I don't know what to make of Zach.
he's very serious about what he does.
Yeah.
I did have a friend who was a Byzantine priest who you've seen him on a couple of episodes,
Yeah, I did.
older ones,
Mm-hmm.
uh, back 10 years ago or more. But he did a couple of episodes, and he said he came in to, you know, bless a house or exercise a house or something like that. And he said, one thing I'll say about Zach, he said, there's nothing fake about what they do. And he says, Zach is about as intense a person as you'd want to meet. And he said, he's very serious about what he does.
Yeah.
Now, as a priest, he said, he says, I worry about them. He says, I think they've gotten a little too close to things. And he says, even 10 years ago, he said, I think he's crossed over into getting into things he ought not be getting into. Right. And he's opening himself up for that. I don't know where he believes about him now, but that was 10 years ago.
Yeah. So, now, do you know, with his museum, is he like, well, when he's not traveling to do a show, is he at the museum?
He's been at the museum. He lives in Vegas. Vegas is where his home is. So, if I'm not mistaken, if that hasn't changed over the years, but I believe he lives in Vegas. Oh. I don't think he lives at the museum.
Well, I mean, is he there?
I mean, they bought an old house, an old like mini mansion, a big house.
Kidding.
And that's where he put the museum.
I have to go check it out.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, you need to check it out anyway. Just you know.
Yeah, it would.
So
now, I think I told you, 20 some years ago, I bought the house next door to the house I grew up in.
Yeah.
And I bought it from the widow of a guy who, we used to play when we were kids. Mm-hmm. He died in the house.
Oh my!
Yeah, he died of a heart attack. He decided to sleep on the couch because he didn't feel well. So Lori, went to bed. Got up in the morning and he's, Mike's dead on the couch.
Dead.
So wow. And I bought the house from her for more than it was worth, but that's what she owed. And my wife at the time, I was at work. I was working 2 jobs, and she called me at the second job and said, "What kind of house did you put me in?" I'm like, "What? There's stuff flying off the counters."
Oh no!
Oh, that's nice. And then a couple days later, she sees this tall guy walking around the backyard. And I'm like, "Was he tall and his hair was thin?" Yeah. No, it's Mike. So
that's Mike.
It's Mike. Good old Mike. Never left. He didn't know.
Wow.
So I talked to a priest friend of mine. He Federation member, and he said, "Don't yell at it. Don't be cranky. Just say, Mike, dude, you died. I don't mind if you're here. Just don't scare the family. Quit knocking stuff off counters and
right.
Don't let people see you." And so after that, everything was cool. So, he said,
wow.
Don't banish them. Don't do all this, stuff you see on TV. Just talk to them. So, my wife and kids, my wife's brother took them all to Disney, and I had the weekend alone, which was interesting. Before I had to talk, and and back when we were kids, my name was Dino. My nickname was Dino.
Okay.
And I'm laying in bed, and I hear this whisper, "Dino." I'm like,
"Dino."
Nobody in the world calls me Dino anymore. And like, I rolled over and I didn't see anything, but I'm like, who in the heck would call me? And I'm like, oh crap. Oh, Mike, we got to have a talk. So, and that solved the problem. Thank goodness.
Wow.
Yeah. Interesting. That was my brush with the afterlife.
I have said to what I know to be spirits in the house. Mm-hmm. I have said to them, hey, look, you can be here if you want to be here. Mm-hmm. But if you scare my kids or if you don't mind yourself, you know what? I'll make sure you don't get to stay here anymore.
Yeah. And that's what I told Mike. You can hang out here all you want. Just don't knock stuff. Don't let people see you. I don't care. Yeah. So, I did that night before I had the talk. I mean, I heard the Dino in my ear.
Sure.
Kids' toys are making noises. I'm like, this is enough.
Yeah.
But after that, Mike moved on. But my other encounter, I worked for, since 1988 in an old hospital that was about 100 years old, built by nuns and everything. And I was the last employee in the hospital. And right about 6 months before they decided to tear it down, I said, before you tear it down, can I walk through and have a ghost team with me? And
nice.
We had some good stuff. We were doing some EVPs, and I don't know what all these guys were doing. And we're in the what became the main lobby, which was a newer part just off the really old part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they would say like, do you know who's here with us? And it's Russ. That's Russ. He'll help us. I'm like, oh,
Nice.
no pressure.
Nice.
So yeah, we went through the hospital.
No pressure.
Yeah, and I'm like, no pressure at all. So I was there a lot in the years I was working there, and I was the last employee there with keeping the records and things. And I'm like, the fact that they knew me, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's kind of interesting. Um, and for months I would be walking down the halls. I was the only person ever there, so I guess. But then we had a going home ceremony, and I used to
Sure.
for years I ran the chapel. I was the sacristan in the chapel, so we had a come to the light, go home kind of thing, and then we were. The problem is they have that speaker going when I'm trying to pray and do things, and I'm hearing these voices, and it really kills your concentration. But
Yeah.
it's beautiful. I'd be saying, okay, go into the light, go into the light. And it's like, oh, it's beautiful. Thank you, Russ. I'm like, oh, man. I'm not like,
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little uncomfortable here. But it all worked out. So,
Nice.
yeah. So okay, I've got 2 brushes with the paranormal. That was it.
Yeah. Well, I was looking I would love to do something like what you did, and that is get the old house where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And I just called this up on Google Earth. I had a picture of it that I took off of Google Earth. It was one of those satellite shots.
Mm-hmm.
Here, just for those of you who are still here and are interested as we start to work toward the end of this show for today, I'm going to share my screen with you and show this to you. Boom. Okay. You're going to see there. I'm sharing my screen. But let's go over here to Google Earth. Take a look at this. Now, this is the Minneapolis area.
Mm-hmm.
And the city is, it's down there somewhere.
So you use Google Earth for years, huh? I just
Yeah, I
go to
can
Maps
Google
and
Earth.
do the street view.
And we live north of the city. You can see this is the Mississippi River here, running right through the middle from, it's east to west there, but it's not. It's not on north here. But if you scroll in, we were only a block or two outside of North Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
And if I scroll in here, there's the Mississippi River. Now, I've told stories many times of this was our house. So this is the house I grew up in as a kid, right there. And we were right on the corner, but there was this whole street was lined with houses on this side. And down here, it was kind of a hill that went down. This is where we went sledding, and this was all connected. You could connect to the main street down here. But back behind all these houses was what we called the fields. All of this running this whole expanse of what is now I-94 going out of Minneapolis north. That was all what we called the fields. What's that?
That wasn't there at the time, the highway?
Nope. The highway was not there. When I was a kid in the late 60s, the early 70s, this was all open fields running for miles.
Yeah.
But then if you got to the other side, 55th Avenue did not go through. You had to go up to another street. But back behind all these houses, the fields, and we called it the woods and the fields. This was all that. And then you got over here, and there were houses back over here. And then what was Lyndale Avenue and the river. And so Mississippi River. So that's where I lived and where I grew up. And we used to just walk through the fields and the woods to get over there. But this is the house that I grew up in. And I would love to go back. It's still there today. So you can see by this, it was a little tiny house that my mom owned. And if I go to...
We need to put it on the historic register, Scotty Roberts' house.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got to see how to get to... There's a way you can get to see the satellite picture of this. It's not 2D. Is it this? Is it this?
It's not Google Maps, is it? I always use Maps.
Yeah. This is Google. This is Google Earth.
Yeah.
And there's a thing you can click on that gets you to that. Maybe if I get off of Google Earth
Go to
and I
Google
just
Maps.
go look up the address,
Oh,
this is
maybe.
kind of neat. Avenue North, Brooklyn Center.
Before you get off of there, when we're done with your house,
Yeah,
go
here
Google
we go.
Map or Earth the Amityville Horror House.
There it is.
Look at there. Yeah, see, that's the street view.
So that's the corner we lived on.
Yeah.
And you can go down here to Google. Well, there you. I wonder if I can go over here. Yeah, I can.
You can drive down almost every street.
So that was the house I grew up in. There's only one tree is missing.
Hmm.
And so that was the place.
Mm-hmm.
Little tiny house. And that there it is. Oh, there's the shadow of the camera. But if I go back over here and you look at it, there it is. So I thought this was kind of cool. And I took this picture off of Google Earth because
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see the old. I showed my kids what I was doing to show them. There's the house Dad grew up in. We didn't have the fence back then, but that's what's kind of cool
Yeah.
about this is Google Maps. I'm on here, and not
Mhm.
Google Earth, but that's the old neighborhood right there, which I think is kind of cool to see. And you're looking south right here. So this street, it was a straight grid. This was east and west, and this was north and south. The high freeways back there, like you can even see a freeway sign right in the middle there, over the hedge there.
Oh, yeah.
And then the river's out there. So this is not great, super exciting radio that we're doing right here, but
That's cool.
it's just kind of fun. Go to Google Earth and look up some of your old places where you used to live. I would buy that house if I had the money. I'd buy it. It's not a super expensive house, that's for sure.
Well, these
But
days, never know.
I would buy something like that just to say I own the old house where I grew up.
Yeah.
Hey, Terry Pitts. Good morning.
So, one time I Google mapped the Amityville Horror House and went
Oh.
drove up the street on maps. It's all blurred out. They won't show it to you. They
won't
blurred it
show
all
anymore.
out. Yeah. So they blur out the Amityville
I heard
Horror House next to it.
Current owners, or somewhere along the way in the last few years, they redecorated the house and they took out the iconic windows, and so people wouldn't recognize it anymore.
Yeah, but on maps or Earth, you can't see it. You can go down the street, but it's all blurred out. Like which is too bad because that's just one of those houses where, true or not true, it's a historic house.
Right. Yeah. And I've been curious too. For my friends, Terry Pitts is out there in Virginia. Hold on, I want to see something here. And see if it comes up. Goochland, Virginia. I'm just curious about something here. Maps. Let's see if it shows this. Nope, it doesn't. I was just looking to see if in Goochland, Virginia, there's the old Robards or Roberts house from, I think, the late 1700s, early 1800s, but nope, not in there.
Oh.
I thought because it's a landmark, it's a historic site, if that was still in there. So anyway.
Yeah. So
I have to look that up in my own time.
Yeah. So I my interest in UFOs and paranormal stuff is really tremendous, but it follows my mission in life to help the world be a better place.
Right. There you go. Well, folks, that's Russ. Russ owns the radio station, Subspace Odyssey Radio, and on which we broadcast. And he also owns Trek Federation. It's a would you call it a charitable organization?
Yes. We are listed as a 501c3 charity. So
Okay.
I don't own it because it's its own entity.
Right.
And the Federation is actually the owner of Subspace, Odyssey Radio.
Okay.
So the charity owns the radio station. It's part of our communications platform.
There you are.
And so the Federation, if you talk to my wife, owns me. So there you go.
There you are. Yeah. So, and he was showing us around the new digs this morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're messy, but they'll be pretty in 2 weeks.
It'll be interesting by the end of the. When do you anticipate the bridge set is going to be complete? What's the projection on that?
Realistically, knowing Christopher, he does good work, but it takes time because he's got other stuff in the fire. Realistically, I'm thinking March, but
spring.
You never know. Yeah, springtime. Okay. He builds part of it at home, and he carts it over here. We put it up, and then he builds some more.
Sure.
I will always put up photos as things progress. I think all the graphics come in next week, and so they'll put those up. We'll have most of the electrical stuff done, so the screens will go up all over the place. And by the end of next week, things will start looking like we actually know what we're doing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So
right on.
Thanks for having me, Scotty.
Russ, thanks for coming on this morning.
Live long.
I'll see you later, brother. We'll talk later.
Work hard and perspire.
Yes. Long and prosper. All right. That was Russ Hesslage. He owns the radio station. Well, as you just heard him say, Trek Federation owns the radio station, the nonprofit. And so there you go. That's what we had to talk about this morning. So this morning we've talked about hair color, vanity, growing old, morning wood, walking around the house naked, and Trek Federation. And so it's been a full morning. So we got 11:15 here, our time, 11:45 out east, 8:45 out west. But I think we're going to start wrapping it up this morning. And so just to revisit the original topic as I came in this morning, tried a little something this last night and colored out the white in my hair. And this was supposed to be, the box said dark blonde. That look blonde to you? No. So it'll have to wear down a little bit. It's permanent, so it's going to have to wear down just a little bit. And then my white hair will start growing back in, and we'll have a nice blend going on. So that's what I did to myself, Terry. Yeah, it was a wild hair, pun intended, up my ass. And thought I'd give it a shot. And now it's very dark. So I'm going to have to, a week from now, it'll start to fade in, I think, a little better. So that's what I did. So this is the way it looked when I met Raini. And now it's just too damn dark. It's just, Raini looked at me this morning. I said, do I make you hot and horny? And she said, no. She says, and she giggles, and she goes, I said, no, the giggle's not good. So we'll get used to it. And by the time we're used to it, it'll start fading back to white. So I don't know if it fades. It's just your white starts to grow back and replace it. So yeah, Beth, it'll fade. There you go. And some of my whiskers, my white whiskers, like right here, it wouldn't take color. Look at that. I got a spatch of white right there. So, yeah, I look different. And it's the whole thing of, will it make me look any better, or will it just make me look like an old guy trying to color his hair? So, we'll see as it fades in. Enough on that. I think we're going to get out of here now. All week, 9:00 p.m. Central, 10:00 p.m. Eastern is the Intrepid radio program, our regularly scheduled show. Sundays is just the informal show. And so we'll be back tomorrow night. It looks okay. Thank you, Beth. That's kind of what Rainey said. She says, it's okay. She said, it's not you anymore, she said. You just don't look that way anymore. Yeah. I told her it would grow on her. So there we go. So I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for coming in, everybody, this morning. And what else was I going to say? Oh, just you all have a great rest of your Sunday. And we'll see you next time. We'll see you tomorrow night. Live long and prosper.